Kate Andrews, and here's a look at what is going on this week in the news. And we begin from around the country. Missouri Governor Jay Nixon has declared a state of emergency and activated the National Guard. The move is in anticipation of the grand jury's decision whether to indict Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson in Michael Brown's shooting death. The ruling is expected by the end of this month. The August shooting of Brown, who was black, by Wilson, who was white, sparked weeks of protest, violence, and vandalism. The teen was unarmed, but police say Brown struggled with Wilson before the officer fired. Activists threaten more such action if Wilson is not brought up on charges. In news from Rome, food is not a commodity. It is a right. That's the word from Pope Francis. His Holiness addressed the Second International Conference on Nutrition November 20th. Rome Reports has more.
Pope Francis made his way to the FAO headquarters in Rome and was welcomed by the Director General, José Graciano da Silva. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, also known as FAO, held its Second International Conference on Nutrition. Pope Francis addressed its assembly with a speech that criticized that profit often overshadows the food industry.
Duele constatar, además, que la lucha contra el hambre y la desnutrición se ve obstaculizada por la prioridad del mercado y por la preeminencia de la ganancia, que han reducido los alimentos a una mercancía cualquiera, sujeta a especulación, incluso financiera. Y mientras se habla de nuevos derechos, el hambriento está ahí, en la esquina de la calle, y pide carta de ciudadanía, pide ser considerado en su condición, recibir una alimentación de base sana. Nos pide dignidad, no limosna.
He addressed a phrase that John Paul II used during his visit to the same organization back in 1992, the so-called paradox of abundance.
Hay comida para todos, pero no todos pueden comer, mientras que el derroche, el descarte, el consumo excesivo y el uso de alimentos para otros fines están ante nuestros ojos.
Any kind of pressure on food distribution, the Pope continued, is unacceptable. He also said the planet should be taken care of.
Recuerdo una frase que escuché de un anciano hace muchos años. Dios siempre perdona las ofensas, los maltratos. Dios siempre perdona. Los hombres perdonamos a veces. La tierra no perdona nunca. Cuidar la hermana tierra, la madre tierra, para que no responda con la destrucción.
The Pope concluded that individualism and division in society end up taking away the dignity of the poorest. He also called on the international community to save lives by tackling world hunger.
In news from around the world, Kenya's Catholic bishops are advising those in the African country to avoid getting a tetanus vaccine because they say it contains a hormone linked to birth control. The vaccine is part of a campaign sponsored by the World Health Organization and UNICEF. 3 samples of the vaccine were tested at privately owned labs. What they found was a hormone known as beta-HCG, which prevents pregnancy. The bishops said the results were given to officials in mid-October. However, the Ministry of Health said in a report that the vaccine was free of the hormone. The bishops have accused the government of distorting the truth and misleading 42 million Kenyans. And finally in the news, as we previously reported, the Pope is coming to America. Philadelphia Archbishop Charles Chaput spoke with Rome Reports about what we can expect from His Holiness's visit and the 2015 World Meeting of Families.
Nel settembre del 2015 mi recherò in Filadelfia.
Now that the Pope announced that he will be traveling to Philadelphia in 2015, the next question is what can people expect from the World Meeting of Families? Well, the Archbishop of Philadelphia weighed in.
The first 4 days, is a Congress. We're expecting 10,000 people for that, where we'll have major keynote addresses and then many, many workshops for people. And then the last 2 days, the Holy Father will come and we'll have some major events. We're expecting more than 1 million people for that part of the celebration.
This Vatican interreligious conference titled Humanum, which is promoting family life and the complementary roles of a man and a woman in marriage, is giving the church and other religious leaders a precursor on some of the themes that will be highlighted in Philadelphia.
Developing workshops to help people be better mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and sons and daughters.
The best way to promote this message is more than just about talk, but rather about action. And part of that comes with the church educating its faithful on living the gospel in everyday life, and also explaining why marriage between a man and a woman is the fabric of society.
A lot of people today, I think, they understand this is true, but they're not quite sure how to articulate it. They're not quite sure how to stand for it in a way that is compassionate toward those who disagree, toward those who are agitating to redefine marriage.
Even people who disagree on how we should define marriage know that we owe ourselves to a relationship between a man and a woman.
This 3-day Vatican conference brings together hundreds of people from 23 countries and 13 religions, from the laity to community leaders and religious representatives, some of whom will be heading out to Philadelphia in 2015 for the World Meeting of Families.
That is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kate Andrews. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.